Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm really excited to share with you a technology enriched lesson plan that combines language learning with digital tools. The idea here is not just to teach English, but to create an experience where technology helps students interact, practice, and reflect more deeply. So let's imagine we are in a real class together. I'm going to take you to step by step through this lesson, and I will also explain why I make each choice. Remember, you can think of this as both a lesson and a guide for how technology can support language learning. We always start with a warm up. In this lesson, I want students to immediately feel connected and curious. So I might say, imagine you woke up one morning and found that your phone could translate every single language instantly. How would that change your life? Would you still study English? I will give students a moment to think and then ask them to share their thoughts. Since this is a technology enriched lesson, students can use a tool like Padlet or a shared Google document to post short answers. Even if they are shy, they can type something and still be part of the conversation. This warm up does two things. Number one is it activates their prior knowledge and gets them thinking about technology. Number two is it makes them curious about the lesson topic. Next, I introduce the main topic. Let's say today's theme is how technology shapes communication. I might start by showing students a short digital text or infographic, something simple like statistics, about how many people use translation apps daily, or how often people rely on AI tools or for writing emails. But since I don't have a projector here in my room, I would simply read it aloud or summarize the data for them. Then I would say, so technology is everywhere, but how does this affect our ability to learn and practice language? Here I would highlight the vocabulary students need. Words like digital tools, online platforms, virtual communication, enhance, challenge, opportunity. I would ask them to repeat after me, maybe 2 or 3 times, so pronunciation is also included. Now it's time to let students practice. In a technology enriched class, I would ask them to work in pairs online using breakout rooms or a shared voice recording tool like Vocero. The task could be discuss one technology you use every day to help you with English. How does it help you? What are the challenges? If I were delivering this lesson face to face with no tools, I would just ask students to pair up and speak for 2 minutes. But with technology, they can record themselves and share the audio. That way they can listen back later and notice their mistakes. Something that's very powerful for speaking skills. During this time, I would also model a short answer myself, like I use YouTube videos in English. They help me learn new vocabulary, but sometimes the speed is too fast and I can't catch every word. This shows them what kind of answer I expect. Now students move from pair work to something more independent. I might ask them to write a short reflection, just 2 or 3 sentences, about the technology they find most useful for language learning. Again, if we are online, they can type it in a shared Google document. If we are offline, they can write it on paper. The key is that they express their own ideas. Then they could use a text-to-speech tool, like Natural Reader, to hear their own writing read aloud. This reinforces pronunciation, helps them catch mistakes. Finally, I would bring the class together for reflection. I would say something like, Today we explored how technology can help us learn English. We use digital tools to write, speak, and share ideas. But we also asked, does technology make learning easier or harder? That's a question I want you to keep thinking about. I would encourage students to share one takeaway from the lesson. For example, I learned that recording my speaking helps me notice mistakes. Or I realized I use translation apps too much. Then I would close with a positive note. Remember, technology is a tool, it's not magic. The real progress comes when you use it actively, not passively. I will also add a bit more explanation of why technology is motivating for students. Some challenges, for example, students might over rely on Google Translate or they might feel distracted by devices. Suggestion for balance: encourage them to use technology to practice, but not to replace real thinking. I would give examples of activities: listening to podcasts at half speed, using Quizlet for vocabulary practice, creating a short Flipgrid video to practice speaking. By adding these real examples, I can talk for longer while staying relevant to the lesson plan. And to wrap up, I would look at the camera and say, so that was today's technology enriched lesson plan. As you can see, it's not about fancy tools or complicated software. It's about using simple technology in smart ways to help students listen, speak, read, and write more effectively. I hope you enjoyed walking through this with me. Thank you. Bye.